what is the most common interview or application mistake? You alluded to a couple of them earlier, but what is the most common or most impactful interview mistake that people make in the process of applying for a new job?
Spell check, grammar. Oh my God. This is something I've seen over the years. It has not improved. I see some of the most god awful resumes that anybody can ever imagine. A resume is only a marketing tool. It's just designed to get the company's attention. You
Mhm.
don't want to run it too long because nobody's going to read it. You don't want to use very, very tiny print because then people can't read it. You don't want to talk about things in the resume that have absolutely nothing to do with what it is that you're applying for. I see some resumes that have an objective on the top, which, by the way, people shouldn't still be using, that say, I'm looking for a job in retail sales. And then they send it to us trying to, in the body of it, go into why they should be engineers. And it's like, well, you just kind of made your case that
For a
that's
retail
not
sales
really
position.
what you wanted to do. Spend a little time and customize it. This is important. You want to get a good job. You're looking for, 60, 70, 80, $90,000. At least take the time and effort to put into that resume so that you checked all of the spell. I mean, we have spell check on our computer. It's not a big deal. Grammar, you could do that too, an editor on Word, and get another set of eyeballs on it. Have somebody look at it and give you some pointers. And make sure, as I always used to say, a resume is very much like a trial where the attorneys stand up and say, I plan to present that this individual is guilty of murder. And then what's the rest of the case? All the support for that. They don't talk about anything other than that. Well, that's what a resume should do too. I want a job as a computer engineer. Well, if that's the case, give me supporting evidence of why you should be considered for that. And do it in a way where my attention is not distracted because there's so many spell check errors or grammatical errors or syntax errors using the wrong word. I've seen resumes where people take a thesaurus. They take the resume they wrote and they try to use big words every other one just to show us how smart they are. And believe me, it doesn't come off very well. And remember, too, a resume only gets 5 to 7 seconds of attention. Put all the important stuff up near the top because by the time you get to the bottom, you may not be a candidate anymore. So load it up front, get my attention, get our focus going. And then, well, gee, he knows this. Well, let's see what else he or she knows. Let me go down further. If in the first part of it, you don't have what the company is looking for, there's no time to read every day. I mean, sometimes you're getting 100 of these things in at one time. You're
Yeah.
skimming, 5 to 7 seconds is not a very long time. So front load it. That's very important. But please make sure that before you send anything out, it's proofed properly.
Thank you so much for watching this segment of the Engineering Success Podcast. If you liked it, make sure to check out the other videos down below that are recommended to you. And if you really like the podcast, make sure to subscribe right down there in the middle. Really appreciate it. It's free to you and helps us a lot out. And last but not least, the best way to help the show grow is to comment down below. So leave your comment if you have any thoughts about this segment. Thanks.
I ain't chasing payments, still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.